So all the while he's working, and let's just say she gets an allowance. I don't know. So while he's working, bringing her the money, she take a percentage of that money and set it to this separate account, her oh hell no account. Okay. So he gets sick, and they start discuss. He started discussing with her about downgrading because it sounds like they had like a pretty decent lifestyle, right? So she was like, "Oh no, we're not downgrading or anything like that." Hey ladies, when your man wanna get buck wild, just go back and hit him up style. Get your hands on his cash and spend it to the last dime for all the hard times. Oh, when you go, then everything goes from the crib to the ride and the clothes. So you better let him know that if he mess up, you gotta hit him up. While he was bragging, I was coming down
No,
here
no.
just a
Bae,
dragging. All his pictures and his clothes in the
bae,
bagging. Sold everything
bae, we gotta
till
get
there
to
was
this
nothing
episode.
left. And I paid.
No, we're not gonna.
What?
First off, disclaimer: ain't nobody cheating over here.
It's a shame that we had to play
We bae,
these games. The love we had just fades away.
you just don't know when to stop.
Oh,
You just don't know when to stop.
this is my song. No, you don't know when to stop. Okay? You don't know when to stop.
And on that note, y'all, welcome back to the You Stuck With Me podcast. This is your boy Marquise.
And this is your one and only, your favorite Taylor.
Y'all, we talking about a very interesting topic. First of all, we want to shout out to Blue Contrell for the song Happy Birthday to her.
Happy birthday to Blue Cantrell.
Today's her birthday, we just found out. So,
hopefully I did you justice, sis. I know I ain't got no singing voice for real, but in the shower and on this podcast, I feel like we have the same vocals.
here's your Grammy.
Thank you. Oh, you really do love me.
My wife is a character, y'all.
Whatever.
I love it, though. No, but for real. On this episode, y'all, we're going to get into a topic that we've seen on social media a couple of times. It's been, I believe it's 2 videos that's been out.
You said it was 2 videos. I only know about the one that we discussed with the peanuts.
Okay, so in this episode, we're talking about wives having, what is it called, babe?
So it's called a rainy day fund. But if you were raised a certain type of way like me, I've always known as oh hell no money.
So okay, so I've seen 2 different videos, but she's seen one. So in one video,
Well, first before we get into that, I think I should explain what
Oh, yeah,
the
go ahead.
concept of oh hell no money.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh hell no money is a separate fund that you tuck away. Mostly women tuck away on the side. So in case the relationship goes left, the marriage goes left, you won't be out here broke, stranded, and have to start from ground zero.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it was taught as oh hell no money because the last thing you say before you walk out the door is like, oh hell no.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or, something go crazy. So he say something to you sideways. You be like, oh hell no. Or if you seen The Color Purple, what did Sophia say before she got arrested and went to jail? What was that lady name? That asked her to be her nanny or maid or whatever like that. Sophia was like, hell no. So that's what oh hell no money is.
So I've seen 2 videos. She's only seen one. So there's a video out that is on social media. Husband comes home. He found
Well, are you talking about the first video?
the one I saw.
Okay, the one you saw. Okay.
So the one that I saw, he came home. He found out that his wife had a secret stash of like 22 grand in a secret account that he didn't know nothing about. But the kicker is that the money that she put in the secret account is all from him working. She's not working at all. And then she makes this crazy, outrageous claim that she's like, I need to make sure that I'm good in case you leave me. And he's like, what's the purpose of just it's insane. So she has about like $22,000 in a Wells Fargo account just in case that the relationship goes left. And he's like, that's from the money that I work for. You don't put in a dime, you don't do anything. So I'm just looking at this and I'm like, you think that this is cool because you afraid? Who put this in your mind? And if he didn't find out anything about it, it would have went to like 100,000, like all because the account came, the bank statement came in the mail, and then the other one that we saw, that both all of us saw, she had like 47,000 or something like that.
Something like that. So basically, she said she had a conversation with her mom about having a separate account on the side in case they didn't work out. Cool. So again, this is based on what we know.
Mm-hmm.
Again, so it sounds like that he was working. He was the provider in the household. He'll go out and work and bring home the money. All she had to do was,
Take care of the
take
house.
care of the house. So he working. He gets sick, which means no money's coming in. So all the while, let me backtrack a little. So all the while he's working, and let's just say she gets an allowance. I don't know. So while he's working, bringing him the money, she take a percentage of that money and set it to this separate account, her oh hell no account. Okay. So he gets sick, and he started discussing with her about downgrading because it sounds like they had like a pretty decent lifestyle, right? So she was like, "Oh no, we're not downgrading or anything like that. I want to maintain this lifestyle, so on and so forth, blase, blase." And so she goes and gets a part-time job, and so eventually he gets better, and now he's working 2 jobs. So he got his main job, and I think she said he started doing Uber or something on the side or whatever. I forgot. And
It was just to maintain their lifestyle.
maintain a lifestyle. So later on, I don't know if he ever would have found out about it. I forgot how he found out about it. I think she told him or found a bank statement. I can't remember that part, but he found out about it. And he was like, he felt some type of way. He was like, "You had all this money set aside and you just sit here and watch me struggle like this? Or you watching me work 2 jobs, breaking my back and stuff like that? Like, what's up?" So during the period, so later on we found out during the period of, uncertainty, we're going to call it that, she actually decreased the amount she would put into this account.
It was like from 750
50 to like 4 or 5
4 or 500.
100. So the topic so the question was, so I think she wrote it into another podcast. So she was like, this was
Am I
the asshole in this situation? Because yes, I had this money set aside or whatever like that, but it was never intentional as a rainy day fund. This was supposed to be my personal fund in case things went left, to support myself. When I first heard this, I went through a different. Well, let's start with this second one. When I saw the video and when I first heard it, I'm like, morally, yes, you're wrong, because in a marriage, it's through sickness and health to death do us part, for richer and for poorer, right? Even though the intent there was not for it to be a rainy day fund, but if you really caring about your spouse here, why would you let him struggle like that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? But that was one thought I had. Then the other thought, I'm like,
ethically,
she not wrong.
I mean, see, and I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first saw it, I'm like, she's wrong. I flat out thought that she was wrong because you see, first of all, you're not working. Your man is supporting you. So you putting money to the side, not initially for a rainy day fund, but just for you. So you weren't thinking about him at all from the jump when you were putting this money to the side. But when, stuff started to hit the fan and he got sick, then you decided to at least you contemplated making it a rainy day fund, but you still didn't do anything.
No, she did do something. Remember, she had got a part-time job,
but she didn't reach into the funds that she already had. So in a way, she still wasn't thinking about him, but she did something different. So even even the part-time job when we were discussing it wasn't enough.
But so this is where the other thoughts come in. There's like so many thoughts that it can go. Now, when I say I feel like she's not wrong because I know about oh hell no money.
Mm-hmm.
I was as a young girl raised among a whole bunch of
Women.
strong black women, who always had the mindset, don't never depend on a man to get what you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know about that. So to me, that's not wrong. But as we discussed with the Peanuts, her getting that part-time job, maybe she felt like she was doing 100% because we don't know if she ever worked a day in her life, right? Maybe this was her first for real job. We don't know that because, excuse me.
In that brief, however long that video was, we can't add
right.
stuff when we can't take out. But
right.
all we
so
have
the
is
way
what we see.
the way it was set up is the way it's set up. It leads for like assumptions
Mm-hmm.
and coming up with your own ideas. That's like with anything like listener letters or anything like that. Sometimes you're not gonna get the full story because you only got a limited amount of time. You're not gonna write in your whole story.
Mm-hmm.
So we still discuss that, and we don't know how their dynamic is. Okay, so we don't know what type of discussion they had with, about him being the number one provider.
The only reason we know is because he blatantly said in the video, "You don't work."
Right.
That's
it just
all
paints
we know.
that picture.
Yeah.
So we don't know what type of discussion they had, and to look from a different perspective, how would she know that he's like all because she know he was sick because maybe if he had a physical ailment that you could see he not 100% or whatever like that. But as for feeling like breaking your back to work these two jobs, how would she know that if he's the type of man that don't express his feelings?
Now let's double back. I'm glad you asked that question. Let's double back and look at what happened in the video. Was that expressly said from her to him or anything like that, vice versa?
No.
Okay, so how can we assume that?
Well, how can we assume she just she was an asshole in that, and all because she said she's asking was she the asshole? That's what I'm saying. There's so many.
Obviously, she feels some type of way looking back or thinking about it, right?
Yeah, she just want to know. But again, that still leaves holes. Like sometimes, like women, we always say this about men. Men do not express emotions well. Y'all tend to hide stuff. Y'all tend to have this facade like, I have to be the provider. I have to do this. I have to do that. I can't show weakness because that made me seem like a punk bitch or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not calling me a punk bitch, whatever like that. Just from what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put this disclaimer out here. I support men, letting out those emotions. One of our foundations in our relationship is I want you to feel like you in a safe space where you can cry or let me know like, babe, I just can't do this today. This is overwhelming. This is too much.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if they have that same setup. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
So I can understand from her if she's so used to her man, going out here like Johnny on the spot, working two jobs and stuff like that. And he always say, I got it. I'm bringing home the bacon. I want to, support my household. I can do this. I can do that. How would she know if that's he always portrays? Or we don't know if she would have asked him a couple times like, hey, babe, do you need some help or whatever like that? We don't know that. But let's just say if she did. What he could have said was, oh, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
After a person say, I got it so many times, you start to be like, okay, that's just them, they got it, they good. When they could be crumbling or feel like, you know what, F all this.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
That's a fair assessment. And we did come to that conclusion when we talked about it last night.
Yeah.
And
me and you talked about it last night, but we had talked it over with Peanuts like a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems that these were the videos that we saw, and we only had a limited window to look at them. I think each video was slightly different. One, because the first one, she was doing it just because she wanted to make sure that her butt was covered, and there was no sign of him doing anything that would have made her, at least from the video, feel that way. But on the other hand, you know, like we just discussed, you know, first of all, that thought came to her mind because her mom said something to her in private.
Yeah.
So it's a tick for tack kind of thing, the way I was looking at it.
And then in that second video, we was just discussing about, you know, the Wells Fargo account. We're gonna call it that. I found it interesting. Like, one of the podcasts was like, he said he hate people like that. Like, you know, he hate or whatever like that. And it triggered some. Well, I'm not gonna say trigger. It turned on the light bulb for me. I understand why he said he don't like that, but then, like I was talking to you last night, excuse me, like I was talking to you last night, women, we can't help but to have thoughts, you know, have the mindset like that sometimes, because we see so many instances in society when a woman gets screwed up when she puts her love and devotion into a man. Like I told you yesterday, one example is Waiting to Exhale. What happened with Bernadette?
Mm-hmm.
She had all these goals and dreams, and she followed the lead of her husband. All through the movie, we hear about, you know, she had these thoughts and dreams, but she became the background to his foreground, right? Then all of a sudden, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Then all of a sudden, we see that he leaves her for another woman. I'm not gonna specify a white woman because
just a woman in general.
Just a woman in general, and plus it happens all the day, no matter what race it is. A woman, and he's like, I'm leaving you for her. Why should she be lonely tonight? Now, it then inspires off into the infamous scene where she be like, take your shit, and get out, and burnt his stuff in the car. I ain't gonna lie, I like that moment. And I'm with Jenna King, where she just walks outside. I'm sorry, I'm fanboying a little bit. She walks outside with that cigarette and flicks that cigarette. I don't know why that part gets me. But back to the topic. You know, that's a woman that's hurt. She feels betrayed. So, and unfortunately, that does happen. Not saying that all men are like that, but it happens.
You know, I mean, I think it's the fact that when it comes to marriage and money, there's so many different. Everybody's got an opinion about it.
Yeah.
And whether these women had a right to feel the way that they did beyond the, you know, however long the video was, we can't say. You can only speculate. But
it did. It served its purpose. It was supposed to spark conversation,
and it did. It did. And you know, we came to the consensus that we can't judge or give a fair critique beyond not understanding what happened outside those videos.
And even if we did understand, at the end of the day, that couple is gonna still do what they want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I will say this: it did serve its purpose of starting a conversation, and I would even argue that it probably started a conversation amongst couples who probably never thought about that.
I know. I actually never did.
Having, you know, separate accounts. Sorry, that's the alarm to take meds, because you know we old people.
Hey, don't speak that on me.
Okay, we're older people.
Don't speak that on me either.
Okay, we're young old people.
Maybe.
Anyway, but yeah, it probably, you know, sparked that conversation among couples. Like,
I know.
Let's talk about finances.
I know. For us, we never had that conversation until we saw the video. So I agree with you.
Never had a conversation about what?
Like hell no, all hell no money, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that was the first time you ever heard me
Yeah.
heard me talk about hell no money. But we've had conversation about finances
Yeah.
before we got married.
That's an important thing. We need to go back and stress that even after you say I do, you're still going to be talking about your finances, because even though a lot of people believe that finances are the number one reason why people get divorced, that's actually not true. It's actually more communication, but finances definitely up there.
Finance is a subset of communication.
I agree with that.
Because and I told you, it reminds us when we started discussing finances. I asked you, how do you feel about us still having separate accounts while we're married?
I was all for it.
Right? So
I'm still all for it. A husband and wife should have, at least in my opinion, you should have 5 separate accounts. You should have
5.
Yeah. So you should have one for the bills.
Mm-hmm.
You should have one for yourself that you want to, use for your own personal bills.
Mm-hmm.
You should have another account for your savings. So what you ever want to do with your own money, I can't ask you that what you do and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing over here. Money that I put in for my own personal bills, and money that I save if I want to go and get something.
I like that. But I mean, I'll be honest. I don't see anything wrong with having a joint account.
I agree with that.
I don't see anything having wrong with joint account, but I'm still gonna have my own separate account. And again,
you're right. And I forgot that account. Then we have a joint account where we save for the house, like we want to go on.
well, that's what I thought. That's what the house bill account that you was talking about.
Yeah.
I just categorized it as a joint account.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was saying, I don't see nothing wrong with having a joint account, but I'm still gonna have my own separate account. And this is just me. Again, this is just our opinions. Me, I want my own separate account because I don't want to put money in a joint account where I feel like I have an obligation to ask you what to do. How can I buy this out of this account?
Mm-hmm.
And it could be small stuff. I feel like I shouldn't have to ask you, can I buy feminine products out of this account? Or, everyday stuff. Mm-hmm. Or if I want to just go and have lunch with the girls, like, hey, can I take this amount of money because I want to treat me and the girls to lunch? No.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Yeah, like I shouldn't have to ask you, can I go get a haircut? Can I go buy me a new pair of jeans?
It's just basic everyday shit.
Yeah.
I feel like we shouldn't have to ask permission for. But again, what works for us may not work for everybody.
Agreed.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes with these multiple accounts, I feel like we low-key drug dealers. The way we move money around throughout these different accounts. I'm be moving one. I could be moving one check to my personal account, and then if I got to send you some money, I'm like, dang, why I feel like I'm pushing weight to myself from myself. Like,
have our bank people looking at us like, wait a minute.
Having our bank people look like, okay, send this text message. Did you approve this activity is fraudulent? This seems like suspicious fraudulent activity. Did you approve this? Yes, I did. Oh, okay. Like, it's a lot.
It's funny. It's not the first time you said that, but every time you say it, I start laughing because I think about it like, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, these bricks is way too high. I need to cut it. Yeah.
Again, the music head in her, y'all.
Or what's that other song we were just talking about that was in our college days? Oh, racks on racks on racks, racks on racks on racks.
Hey, that was a hot song.
Yeah.
That just took me back down memory lane, but we'll talk about that offline.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how I feel sometimes. But again, that is a blessing because a lot of people don't have that.
A lot of people don't have that understanding. Some people actually, what's the word? It's a specific
financial literacy.
No, financial literacy, but the one I was looking for was financial acumen.
Okay, Mr. Bachelor's degree.
And damn proud of it.
Okay. That's why I married him. He used big words and stuff all the time.
No, but is going back to watching these videos and sparking this conversation among us, as us two and among our friends, makes you think about how different people view money within their relationship, and it can open your eyes to any blind
spots
that you can have. Thank you.
And another thing I want to point out too, we always see it from the women's side of having oh hell no money and stuff like that. I said what one thing, and I was telling you this yesterday too. One thing that I feel like it's not talked about. Men get that be in those situations too.
I've actually never heard of a man in the oh
Yes,
hell
you.
no.
Well, not having oh hell no money, but being in a situation like that. Yes, you have. Trying to get try to get a woman for whatever side account she had, or what for a financial money they had in their relationship. Yes, you have. Why did I get married to? Patricia and Gavin had that situation.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess I should explain to the people about that, right?
I mean, if they haven't seen the movie.
I mean, it's an old movie now. I feel like there's no spoilers in old movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out. Boom. Now y'all gonna be like, damn, Taylor probably got a point. I'm like, she gonna be like, I'm gonna have y'all like, damn, I haven't seen that movie in a while. Let me go check that. Anyway, so Patricia and Gavin, which is Malik Yoba's character and Janet Jackson's character. Y'all know how much I love Janet Jackson. But anyway, Patricia and Gavin, after they had the couples retreat trip, they had announced that they was getting a divorce. Later on in the movie, you see Patricia and Gavin in a meeting, in a mitigation, trying to civilly discuss how the divorce is going to go. Like who gets what, she gets this, she gets that. It's brought up that Patricia had a side account.
From the book that she wrote.
From the book tour, because she had just released a new book. It's doing well. New York Times bestseller. Woo wop, da bam, all that, right? And I think it was Gavin's lawyer that pointed out, like, well, we see an account here that's not listed. And Patricia's like, now Gavin, now you know good and well that's from the sales of the book tour. That's what helps finance the book. That's the earnings I got from the tour and everything like that. And he was like, okay, I deserve half of that. She was like, what word did you write in this damn book? Like, she was going ham. Like, what word did you write in this damn book? He was like, well, the many nights I stayed up with you and I was your subject. She was like, no, you didn't put no work in this, and it turned ugly.
Mm-hmm.
He was fighting. He was fighting because he felt like he deserved some of that money.
Mm.
And sad to say, there are situations where men are like that too. He might not had oh hell no money,
but
the situation
of
finding out it's a separate account, and you feeling disrespected because of that, because you felt like you had a part of that, and now your partner saying that you don't have the what's the word I'm looking for? A stake in it.
Yeah.
You feel it, and it causes feelings. Same concept. The only difference is Gavin didn't have oh hell no money that we know of.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that just goes to show you.
Money works differently in different relationships, y'all.
Yeah. It happens man or woman.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's safe to say that don't let finances be the end of y'all. That just means that y'all really need to sit down and talk. And if you don't know where to start, talk to a financial advisor or someone that you know or that you trust that can give,
sound financial advice.
And I mean, sometimes I believe in a rainy day fund. I mean, an actual rainy day fund. I'm not talking about oh hell no money. Even though I don't see anything wrong with having oh hell no money, but I feel like oh hell no money is a cushion for a situation that you shouldn't be in.
Good point.
But you choose to stay there.
A word.
I mean,
hey, that makes sense though. That makes sense. So on that note, beautiful, you want to tell the people where they can find us?
You can find us on the You Stuck With Me Facebook page and the You Stuck With Me Instagram page. Bet you want to tell them where they can send us sticky notes and how to get in contact with us?
You guys can get in contact with us through our email, which is youstuckwithme@gmail.com. That is USTUCKWITME@gmail.com. You can reach out to us through our Facebook page. You can send us sticky notes there. You Stuck With Me podcast. You can send us sticky notes to our podcast page on Instagram. You stuck with me _podcast. That is USTUCKWITME _ podcast. You can find me personally on Instagram and the app formerly known as Twitter at mine M1NE_1. That is M1NE_1.
You can find me on Instagram and the app formerly known as Twitter under Queen Points. That is PO1NTZ. Again, that is Queen Points, PO1NTZ. And also, if you want some more behind the scenes stuff before the government shuts us down, because TikTok is now being banned. Sad face. You can follow us under my TikTok page, Queen Points 22. That's Queen Points 22. And so y'all been supporting the GTD playlist. You probably wonder, what the hell is GTD?
Got the draws, man.
Y'all been supporting the GTD playlist, and I greatly appreciate it. But if you haven't heard it, go ahead and check it out on Apple, Spotify, and coming to YouTube. But I will say this, another playlist in the works. Should I tell the people what it is?
Nah. Keep them guessing.
Keep them guessing?
Keep them guessing.
I want to give them a little snippet, though.
Nah, sometimes you got to play everything close to your vest.
But.
Not yet. They'll
It's
find
pertaining
out.
to the podcast, though.
They'll find out.
All right, well, Bay said I can't tell y'all yet, but stay tuned.
And if you guys want to check out some more of our podcast episodes, make sure you guys follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. And make sure you follow us on Spotify.
And definitely thank you for the support on YouTube. Y'all are the GOAT.
Yes. And on that note, this is your boy Marquise.
And this is your one and only your favorite Taylor.
And we out.
Hey, come back.
You stuck with us, y'all.
Come back.
Peace out, y'all.
Later.